What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Friday night's late night agenda, the night before the Reds take on Leicester City at the King Power in the early 12:30 p.m. Saturday kickoff time, which, look, I don't like, and I'm sure most of you guys don't like either, but we'll get through it, and hopefully we'll look ahead to the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video with Lee Chappie earlier on. It was great fun to do, and again, really thank you to Lee Chappie for coming on. It's always fun chatting with Lee. He's a friend of mine, and I love getting him on for a chat. Again, massive shout out to Thogden and Thogdad for asking me to do the weekend predictions for their channel as well. Hopefully we'll have the guys on in the next week or two for a chat over on here. And look, it's been a good period for the channel, ladies and gentlemen, but the news for the football club hasn't been great. Yet again, we seem to have a couple of injuries coming our way. FABINHO has been ruled out for a couple of weeks. I'm sure you guys seen all that. We'll go through that in more detail as well. We'll have a look ahead to maybe some alternative predictive lineups because, you know, the ones that I picked, a lot of the players seem to be injured. So we've a good bit to go through, ladies and gents, a good bit to go through. But look, as always, I want you to steer the show. I want you to tell me what you want to talk about. And again, I want to say thank you to our sponsors, Boyle Sports, without whom we wouldn't have been able to push on and make as much content as we have done this season. So right, how are we all, folks? Lovely to see you in the chat as always. Love the video. Thogden said, Yusuf, thank you, mate. It was so much fun to be able to send it over, and yeah, I hope it went down okay. Yeah, the camera. Do we like the new camera? Because it arrived today, the new webcam. I think I should be looking a lot crisper and a lot less blurry to all of you guys now. It's same webcam that I've had for the past 3 years, but just a brand new one. So it's less scratched, less used, and yeah, it's looking a lot clearer, I think. Obviously, we'll tweak the colour and stuff as we go forward, but yeah, it's great to be back, and it's great to actually look like myself on the screen rather than this kind of blurred looking crisp, said Mr. Crosby. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. 1080p for me, said TTV Klopp. Right, what have we got? Comments on Thogden's channel are positive about you. Well, that's grand, because, you know, you're not going to lie. I mean, even when you're in this game a little while, you do get worried. You want people to think that, you know, you're a reasonable person. So, look, ladies and gents, what do we want to start off with tonight? The UPAMECANO news? Because the UPAMECANO news broke earlier on tonight, and it's something that, you know, again, I don't like to ever give myself pats on the back, but I've been telling you guys for as long as I can remember now, definitely at least the last few months, that UPAMECANO was destined to join Bayern Munich. I mean, it's no big secret. I've never expected him to go to the Premier League. I never expected him to come to Liverpool or to Manchester United in all reality. Once he knew of Bayern Munich's interest, the story seemed to be, the narrative seemed to be that he was always going to be in there as a David Alaba replacement, and Bayern Munich look like they've gotten their man, and they're going to get themselves a very good defender. There's no two ways about it. But, you know, from our point of view, there's still other options in the summer. Obviously, we want to see how Ozan Kabak gets on, and he may well get his chance to show us what he can do against Leicester tomorrow. I mean, I'd be shocked if he isn't in the starting lineup, I have to say. And, you know, I'm never, well, I say shocked, you should never really be shocked with Kloppo's lineups because you never know what to expect. But I think we do need Henderson back in that midfield, if nothing else, to provide a little bit of cover for Trent on his burst forward on the right hand side, because Hendo's brilliant at just stepping across there and closing any gaps for opposition players. We're trying to counter attack. Mbappe news, if any, no, there's nothing there. Not that I've read anyway. Nothing new that I've seen. Obviously, PSG are going to want to try Kylian Mbappe down to a new deal, but right now, the ball is definitely in his court. He's got 1 year left on his contract at the end of this season, and they're not going to let a player of that quality go for free. So if he refuses to sign, and I don't know what the situation is, he's going to be available in the summer, and he's going to be available for still what would be a very, very high fee, but entirely more realistic than what his actual value would be on an open market with 2 or 3 years left on his contract. A lot of people talking about Canade as well. I've been chatting with people on Twitter today a lot about this, and a lot of people suggesting Canade. Obviously, Jules Koundé is somebody who a lot of people like the idea of as well. With Jules Koundé there, you're talking serious money, I would say, to get him out of Sevilla. I'm not fully aware if this is true or if not, but a lot of people have been talking about Canade having a bit of an injury record, and again, I don't know what his injury record is like or isn't like, but the last thing that we need to be doing right now is bringing in a centre-back in the summer that isn't, for want of a better phrase, bulletproof. We need somebody who's going to be able to play 30, 35 Premier League games a season. So, again, look, I'll leave it up to Michael Edwards, the recruitment team, to do the crunch the numbers and look through the statistics. They'll have everything available to them, and I think that they've earned that trust. Ben said, "Love that shirt, mate. Cheers." Yeah, I'm Nike's dream basically. Nike start making Liverpool stuff, and I start buying up a lot more Nike stuff than I used to, or Nike stuff than I used to. So yeah, I mean, a couple of people have asked me about the hoodies. I just get them all on the Nike website. To be honest, it's fairly straightforward. Whenever there's a sale on, I jump on and try and grab something. I saw a tweet looking to change out 6 players, assuming Genie is likely one of them. I don't know what that tweet was. Look, Genie's going to be leaving, it looks like. So I'd say Divock Origi, Shaqiri, a couple of fringe players, Adrian perhaps, maybe 1 or 2 more. But I wouldn't expect any, unless one of the front 3 goes, I wouldn't expect any major shocks in the summer with regards to outgoings from Liverpool. And I love the idea, as I spoke about the other night, I love the idea of perhaps going out there and getting somebody like a Harvey Barnes, or somebody like Pedro Neto, or somebody like the guy from Leeds, Rafinha, and then moving Mo centrally. I think it might be time to kind of just make Mo an out-and-out number 9. Put him in front of goal where he does his best work, and just let the man bang the goals in. Tomorrow's going to be difficult, though. It's going to be a very difficult game. Like, Leicester were humbled by us last season, and they won't have forgotten that. They are a much better team this year, in all fairness. They've progressed. They've got another year under the manager. The players have gotten to know each other a bit better. They've been very good in their recruitment as well, to be fair to Leicester City. They've brought in some good players. But speaking with Lee earlier on, he was saying that Fofana is out. Obviously, we know that the other kid, the fullback's out, is James Justin. He's out with ACL, so of course we wish him a speedy recovery. And Leicester have a few other injuries of their own. I think he said Dennis Pratt is out, and a couple of others. So, we aren't the only ones going into this game with injuries, but I just want to see 2 centre-backs playing at centre-back. I don't know about everybody else. We've brought in Ben Davies and Ozan Kabak. I think, for me, I'd go Ozan Kabak and Nat Phillips. That's what I'd go with. I don't know how Ben Davies has been training, so I can't give a fair assessment of whether he should or shouldn't start. But I think I'd be absolutely gobsmacked if Kabak doesn't get a run out tomorrow, ladies and gents. Yeah, I know. It's about Thiago. Thiago hasn't trained all week. Fabinho has been ruled out. Naby Keita and Diogo Jota aren't available yet. The gaffer said that in his press conference earlier on, that Naby Keita is the closer of the 2 to resume in full training, and they still expect a couple of weeks at least on the Diogo Jota stuff. So again, looks like we won't have either available for the Champions League game on Tuesday either. So, there's not going to be much rest again for these players. Klopp's going to have to lean on his starting 11 a lot, and for me, I see a lot of people talking about the midfield for the game against Leicester and assuming that we move Hendo in there and assuming that Thiago's unavailable. I think it's got to be Genie, Hendo and Curtis Jones. I mean, you can make an argument for James Milner, of course, but I just love the youthful exuberance of Curtis Jones. I like the fact that he can do his defensive work. He's full of running, fresh legs, a youngster, not afraid to take a player on. I think him with Hendo alongside him and Genie steering him through the game in midfield will be fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And then the front 3 being the front 3. Robbo and of course Trent as well at the back don't change, and Alisson doesn't change. So yeah, that to me, that's the way I think we should line up. Now obviously I made my prediction video with my predicted 11 and score predictions, but with the caveat with that was, you didn't know what was going on with the situation with Fabinho and the situation with the situation with Fabinho and Thiago, because we knew they'd missed training, but we didn't know the extent of, particularly Fabinho. Like, Fabinho has automatically been ruled out for a couple of weeks by the gaffer, so Thiago's a doubt because he hasn't trained, for those in the chat. I can't say categorically one way or the other if he's entirely, absolutely 100% not going to be in the squad, but if he haven't trained all week, are they going to risk him on a match day? I'd be very surprised with the Champions League game coming up as well on Tuesday. Is Vardy able to play against you guys? I think so, yeah. I know Vardy did come back from a hamstring injury lately. But talking to Lee earlier on, from Leicester City's point of view, there seems to be no lingering doubts over Vardy. But, he is definitely somebody we've got to keep an eye on. But Harvey Barnes, for me, and James Maddison, 2 players that Liverpool need to control tomorrow in that game. We need to win the battle. We need to be up for it 100%. And look, we can't carry any passengers tomorrow. Leicester City are a very good team. Full of energy, and we need to match them for that. We need to match them from the minute 1. Commitment, energy, crunch tackles, whatever it takes. I just want us to be at it from moment 1 tomorrow, and hopefully we can leave the King Power with some points, because look, we need it. We're in a fight now for the top 4, and we need to make sure that we don't drop out of that top 4. We need to make sure that we are in the Champions League next season. Thiago's been having individual training sessions, just not with the team, which again is never really a great sign that he's going to be available. I mean, again, I'm working in my head with Genie, Henderson, and then either Jones or Milner. Hopefully, from my perspective, nothing against James Milner, but for this game, I'd like to see Jones in there because Leicester City's midfield is going to be getting through a whole lot of work, and I think you never deny James Milner's work rate, but. He does slow us down a little bit at times, and I think Curtis Jones has a bit more creativity about him as well, so I'd rather Curtis Jones start. We need to finish strong. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Samantha. We definitely do need to finish strong. No, I'm trying to be positive and look at it this way. Like, we have had a horrendous first half of the season from our own high standards for varying reasons. Some bad games, some tiredness, some injuries, lack of fans. Same, every other club's had to cope with the same thing, but we can only get better from this point is the way I'm trying to look at it. And with Diogo Jota, hopefully being back in a few weeks, Naby Keita, hopefully we can resolve those issues around it, the little muscle strains and stuff that he's getting, and maybe Kabak can form a partnership at the heart of that defence with Fabinho when he's back as well. So, it's not all negatives. It just seems to be we have a rolling thing of little injuries that just, when you get some back, somebody else pulls up, and it must be a nightmare for the gaffer to deal with. But that's just why I suppose he's paid the big bucks, and I know that there was a clear the air meeting with the players after the Manchester City game. They sat down at Kirby and they laid it all out, as you do when anyone who's been part of a team knows that you don't point the finger, you just lay it all out there and you point to the areas that need to be improved, and you try and keep positive, and you try and remind yourself of what got you to the place that you are, what got you to the dance, for want of a better phrase. And these guys have delivered. So I've no doubt that things will pick up and they'll start to deliver again. It's been frustrating for all of us. I mean, I've been used as a scapegoat for fucking results for some reason, because apparently if I say something and it goes wrong, it's my fault. If I say something and it happens to be right, of course that's nothing to do with me, but it does make me laugh. I mean, I get it. People are frustrated. I've been frustrated many times this season with some of the results, but we've also been spoiled in recent years, haven't we, with some amazing results. So let's just hope the lads are at it tomorrow. Let's fingers crossed. Our away form hasn't been too bad, so hopefully we go to King Power tomorrow and show up. But the kickoffs always make me nervous. Does anybody out there actually like the 12:30pm kickoff? Obviously TV companies get to pick of games, and this one was chosen as a 12:30pm one, and I suppose in some ways it gives the lads a bit more time to recover than maybe a 5 or a 3pm kickoff would on a Saturday ahead of the game against Leipzig, which is taking place in Budapest on Tuesday. It's our fault we lost against Manchester City. It's absolutely our own fault. It's all your fault we lost against Manchester City. Yeah, I mean, how dare I tell Alisson to do what he did? Like, the cheek of me. I get a lot of no's. TTV Klopp, you do like the 12:30 kickoff. Nice one. I mean, I know some people in certain parts of the world, that time works brilliant for them as well, and that's why there are these time slots for TV companies, so that they can get good viewing figures in different parts of the world. And the Premier League is a worldwide brand, so we've got to keep that in mind as well. I do, but I think it's only me, said LFC Fan 96. We need another Trent masterclass, said Charlie. Yeah, it's good to see. Now, look, he did make a mistake against Man City. I know Alisson's gotten all the headlines, but you can't forget about Trent passing the ball across his own 18-yard box, which led to an interception. And let's hope we can cut out these silly little mistakes, because you've seen me say it on streams a lot. We've been our own worst enemy at times this season. Just some slackness, some giving the ball away, and yeah, we just need to we're not a million miles away. That's the really frustrating thing. Hopefully we can get the lads Mo Salah, Firmino and Sadio Mane more involved in the game tomorrow than they have been recently, and hopefully they've got their shooting boots on. Hope we win tomorrow, said Addison. Pal, here's your brother. Like, absolutely. I think start Nico. Why? Trent just bit. Nah, you gotta start Trent in this game, man. You gotta. Or Milner at left back. Milner would be destroyed for pace at left back, mate. If Milner was at left back, not in this game. He'd be destroyed for pace. Not a chance. Late Sunday kickoffs are the worst. I don't mind Sundays. I don't mind any later games, because you know me, I sleep like a vampire. I don't like daylight very much, so Yeah, look, loads of stuff to get through, folks. Tomorrow and over the course of the weekend, of course, I'll be here doing the watch along tomorrow. But beforehand, Jack Gill will be live, bringing you guys the team announcement show. He'll be going on, I think, at about 11:20, something like that, and taking you right through till about 12 o'clock. Then I'll be a little bit later tomorrow than normal. I'm only going to start 15 minutes before the game because man needs to sleep, so every minute counts. So I'll be going live then from 12:15 for the watch along. Jack Gill will then join me for the post-match show as well. And then I know I'm heading over to Mundo Sporto for a game tomorrow, which I can never remember what it is. So let me just check my calendar here. Then I'll be doing the Manchester City Spurs game on Mundo Sporto at 5:30 tomorrow if you want to jump over and join me for that one as well. If you don't know what Mundo Sporto is, it's our second channel that we have as part of our family. Is it family? Let's call it our family of channels. So give that a sub as well. And as you can see from the top corner of the screen, we have hit 74,000 subscribers. 26k to go, folks, before we get to that 100k mark. Cannot thank you guys enough again for your support. And look, we can do this. We can do this before the season's out. I know we can. I didn't think we could a few months back, but it's been an amazing couple of months. So let's keep the pedal to the metal. Let's keep letting people know about the channel. Let's keep welcoming in new people, and hopefully we'll hit that magical number by the end of the season. Sure, you on Togden channel. I'm not. I was. Yes, that was me. I did do the predictions video. Yep, and it was a pleasure to be asked on. And the guys Thog Dad and Thog Din should be coming over onto Anfield Agenda for a chat. I'm also trying to catch the eye of the Irish guy from HITC Sports. So I've tagged him in a post on Twitter. So maybe go over there, folks, if you get a chance, and retweet that and tag him in. I'm trying to get him on for a chat because I think it'd be good fun. I think he's got a great sense of humour. Two Irish guys doing a video, having a bit of banter about football. I think it would make for great watching. So hopefully we can catch his eye. Hopefully he's up for it. And it'd be nice to have him on for a chat because, he's done very well with his channel. And, I like to big up other Irish people as well when I can. And, full credit to him for what he's done. So, yeah, I'd love to get him on and have a chat with him as well. Let's put Leicester to the sword like we did against Palace. That would be, come on, mate. That would be class. Yes, why not? Why not give Nico a chance? It's a huge game and we need to start our season. Well, what's Trent done wrong to deserve being dropped is my question. He's only starting to come back into form after his injury, Trent, and his illness. Dropping him now, I think, would be silly. The man's also needs to catch. I know we don't give a shit about this as Liverpool fans, but he wants to keep Gareth Southgate's mind as well ahead of the Euros. And yes, he's nailed on to be in the squad, but he's going to want to be the starting right back for England. So look, as much as I love you bigging up Nico, and he has a good future ahead of him, it's got to be Trent. There's no way in God's green earth tomorrow that we're not going to see Robbo and Trent, surely, as the full-backs. Any word on Keita and Jota? Yep, again, both unavailable. Keita the closer of the two to a return. Jota still a couple of weeks away minimum by the sounds of it. When we face Sheffield, I'd start Nico. Been looking better in recent times for me, said Mustafa. Nothing wrong with Nico, he's just nowhere near as good as Trent. Nor should he be, by the way. Nor should he be as good as Trent yet, because he's still progressing. Let's not forget, both are young men, but, Trent has a lot of experience for somebody of his young age, nothing wrong with Nico. He's a solid right back, and again, he will get opportunities moving forward. Tsimikas, I do agree on that one, RSH14. He has had a slow life, or a slow start to his Liverpool career, should I say, via injuries and COVID and a couple of other things. And hopefully we get to see a few minutes of him now and then as well, because he seems to have a bit about him, and we just need to see what he's all about, because we haven't really gotten to know him as a player too much. Craig, Klopp should have been very brave against City and started with Ben Davies and Ozan. I'm going to disagree with you, because they had no time to train. They had very little turnaround to get used to the squad. But what I will say is, and I don't even think was Davies even in the squad for that, or am I getting confused with the Brighton game? Anyway, with the Ozan Kabak situation, what baffled me and many other people was, so when we went 4-1 down, why not? Why not bring him on then? Just introduce him to Premier League football and give him a few minutes. That baffled me, I have to say. That would have been a great chance to just get him out there, get a few minutes against a very good side, and see how he got on, and just give him a few minutes then ahead of maybe his debut, hopefully tomorrow against Leicester City. Harvey Elliott already going to be better than Curtis Jones. Again, complete bullshit comparison because Curtis Jones is an attacking midfielder and Harvey Elliott is more of a right forward. So again, weird comparison. And why not just come across and say, isn't it great that we have Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott rather than trying to belittle one to big up the other? That's just the wrong mentality to have it, mate. Look at it like this. We've got two brilliant youngsters that are both Liverpool players. Harvey out on loan now with Blackburn, doing very well for them. And Curtis Jones having a breakthrough season, a proper breakthrough season in midfield. No need to be, bigging up one to knock down the other. They're both our boys. Let's get behind them and, big them both up. And by the way, Curtis Jones is an exceptional footballer. Exceptional. I mean, to even have anything negative to say about that lad, I'm baffled because he is a real baller, a proper footballer. What else we got? Why are people obsessed with comparing two of our own players? I don't get the comparison things, man. I really don't. Like, who do you prefer, this or this or that? I'm somebody that always tries to say the same thing. They're all Liverpool players. Enjoy them while they're here because, we don't see these guys for longer than a few years. So, got to show love to them all. And there are always the odd exception here or there. Like, personally, for me, I think Divok's time's up. I've made no secret of that. Bernadette Farrell, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. Said, Craig, sorry for a rant about Steve Nichols. It's a disgrace. An ex-player, always criticising the Reds unless we're winning, and he's a proud ex-player. From what I've seen of Steve Nichols, as you said, as an ex-player, absolutely wonderful, served Liverpool magnificently, but he does seem a little bit snidey. But then again, isn't that kind of why they have him on there? Do you know, if you get these little rants? And same with Roy Keane. Roy Keane recently on Sky Sports is, I don't want to say he's become a parody of himself, but James Pearce wrote a very good piece, in my opinion, on this in The Athletic. And it makes for good clicks and it makes for good sound bites and it makes for good little clips that Liverpool fans are some of the most active in social media, and if you're poke and probe Liverpool fans, they're going to click, they're going to watch and they're going to comment, and that's what drives a lot of this content. So I don't think it's any accident that it's there. I don't think it's any accident that it's hammed up at times, Bernadette, again. And it is a little bit sad to see a former Liverpool player always so happy to stick the boot in. I do agree with you on that one. Do I watch NBA? A little tiny bit, Jack. Like, I only started watching bits and pieces of it this year, but other than that, not really. But this year was the first year I fully got on board with NFL and watched the entire season, or at least as much of it as I could, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Was THIAGO in training? No, mate, he wasn't. He's missed training all week. He's been doing, I think, private sessions, if you know what I mean, or he has been with the main group anyway. What have we got? Kentron3 said, British media are a disgrace. They only switched to attacking Jose once Klopp's mom's news broke. Disgraceful. Look, I have nothing to say for or against mainstream media. It is what it is. There's so much choice out there now for people, whether you've excellent articles from the likes of James Pearce and people on The Athletic or Melissa Reddy, or you have pieces that you dislike or disagree with as well. Then you've got fan content. Some people are divided on that. Some people love what we do. Some people hate fan content. So I guess it's just I just try and stick into my own lane, if you get what I mean. I just try and stick to the stuff that interests me in particular. Would I bring back Ings if I could? Yes. 100% yes. Forever yes, mate. It was so unfortunate what happened with Danny Ings at Liverpool. Through no fault of his own. A good lad, just, injuries never really went his way. But I'm glad to see him at Southampton doing so well, banging in goals. And obviously not the one against us. But it's just great to see Danny Ings. He's one of the good guys in football. It's great to see him back playing. Aaron said, Liverpool fan and I love everything about Roy Keane. He was totally wrong about what he said. I've always been a fan of how outspoken Roy Keane has been as well. As somebody who's been outspoken at times myself, I've no problem with somebody speaking their mind, but it's always good if you do have these little moments to back them up with examples of what you're talking about, rather than just saying things for some sound bites. And again, look, as a footballer, none of us can sit here and critique Roy Keane. He's an amazing footballer. I mean, one of the best Irish players to ever put on a green shirt, and I'm sure one of the best midfielders Manchester United fans have seen as well. So even back in his Forest days. But yeah, look, I just wonder, like, I don't think that the broadcasting companies are idiots. They see what's going on with the likes of AFTV, the United Stand, us, all fan channels out there, and they see how audiences are shifting over because they like drama, or they like beef, or they like these clickbaity, or they like these little clips that make the sound bites that make things sound sensationalized, and they're no fools. And look, they are losing viewers because watch-alongs and free content on YouTube and stuff like that is becoming massive, and they're trying to get in on that game. But what they'll never be able to do is do what you get. So if you watch Mark on the United Stand, you can't fake that passion, nor can you really use that as a pundit in television because it's too biased. But that's the beauty of the freedom of what we do on YouTube, is that we can be that biased at times. We can say the things that are really on our mind, and we don't need to hold back for fear of any, repercussions from the club not being allowed media access or yada yada yada. We have a platform to speak our minds, and that's one of the things that I love most about what we get to do on here. What's my opinion on Trent's bad form? How can he improve? Will he be back to his good ways? I think he is starting to improve, and I think his bad form can be put down to an injury, to COVID, and maybe recovery time from that. And look, just tiredness as well. These guys have been through an awful lot mentally over the past few seasons with what they've achieved and the points totals that they've had to get to win that league title. Do you think Kane should get cards for whenever he jumps into a tackle with a foul? I don't want to single out any one player because I think that would be rather unfair of me to do that. But I don't like when anybody, and look, I'm sure we can find examples of our own players that have done this as well, but I don't like when anybody leans into somebody when they're in the air like that, because it is just a very serious accident waiting to happen. And I don't want to see any footballer picking up an injury, going up for a header, and somebody ducking down or nudging into them. And we've seen a few of them recently throughout the Premier League that have, had some serious falls, and we know how fragile the human spine is. So, yeah, it's not something I want to see in the game. Martin G said, make no mistake, Shaqiri, Origi, Milner, Adrian, Gini, and I think one of the front three will go in the summer. Yes. And you could be right in the last one, Martin. I mean, I would say that the only way one of the front three goes in the summer is if there's a mega move and the club want to cash in to free up some cash or some wages. Other than that, I can't see one of them moving on. Of course, we've been linked in the last few days. The stories have come out to say that we went for Ismaila Sarr from Watford during the January transfer window. And, I don't know if does the story go that we had our offer turned down, or anyway, we were interested in him apparently, and that guy Demarais, that his name, from Juventus, apparently we had a €54 million bid for him turned down in the January market, which really does make you scratch your head when we've heard through the entire window that we weren't doing any business, and then when Matip was ruled out, all of a sudden we acted, and we acted quickly. And to hear that we were offering €54 million, which we know we kind of didn't have at the time, I don't know what to say about it. Like, it is what it is, but it shocked me to read that. Craig, would you have Kane at Liverpool, and would he ever think it would happen? I've always said this. I think I even said it yesterday, actually. I always imagined that Kane would end up at United for some reason. I've got no justification for that. It's just, the way sometimes you look at a player and you think, I can see him playing for X, Y, or Z. He's always been somebody to me that I think would fit in at Manchester United. But it's going to be a serious question for him. Like, he's getting into the prime years of his career now, and, they've been knocked out of the FA Cup. They're playing Manchester City in the final of the League Cup, I think, which is going to be very difficult in that one. And if they don't win a trophy this season, will Kane look around again and go, what if they don't get Champions League football? He's a player that deserves to be playing at that level. And the partnership that he struck up with Son this season has been fantastic at Spurs. So, yeah, I've often wondered, will he ever leave Spurs, or will he ever think, okay, I need to go and win trophies somewhere? I've got a gut feeling as well that we'll sing him at United. Don't know why. It's always just struck me as a type of player that they'd sign. And that would fit in better at United. I mean, don't get me wrong, Harry Kane's a sensational number 9 or a sensational striker. There's no denying that. I say number 9, doesn't he wear number 10 at Spurs actually? But he's a sensation. Does he wear 10? I thought pay that less attention to other clubs. Isn't it? Bale wears 9, doesn't he? So Kane's 10, yeah. But yeah, he'd be good wherever he went, to be fair. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be the club that's coming in trying to buy him from Daniel Levy. I wouldn't want to be in those negotiations because, God, you definitely need a packet of paracetamol there for the headache you're going to have at the end of it. Keita is being sold this summer. Again, mate, unless you have proof of this, please stop with the bullshit. Because I guarantee you've got absolutely feck all proof that Keita is being sold in the summer, but you're probably just somebody who thinks he should be sold and therefore thinks it's gospel. The club are working really hard. What we do know as a fact is the club are working really hard with Naby Keita to try and strengthen up his body, to try and stop these niggly little injuries from happening for whatever reason. And I love Keita and I want him to stay, and I hope that he can get through this, and I hope that we see the best of him because he's one hell of a baller. But put it to you this way, if he's had this shitty injury record and if he can't get run of games together, how exactly are we going to sell him in a pandemic world for the type of money that he's worth and the type of money that we would want to sell him, and who's going to buy him? So think of that side of it as well. Do I have a favourite player outside of Liverpool? Yes, Messi. Of course, it's got to be Messi. Uncle Fester's son is better than Salah. Yes, call me Uncle Fester. Fucking hilarious, mate. You're the first person that's ever thought of that, so give yourself a big pat on the back there for that one. And look, you're entitled to your own views, mate, as well, but just make sure the next time you come onto YouTube to comment behind your cowardly little bitchy keyboard, mate, that you grow a pair and use your real name, maybe a real photo as well, because we can all give a Billy Big Bollock sitting behind the keyboard, mate, but it takes a real pair of balls to sit here, use your real name, talk to a camera every day, and put up with idiots like you. So, again, pal, whatever's, mate, whoever hurt you, I feel sorry for you, mate, and I wish you all the best, love and best wishes, because clearly you need some type of love in your life, mate, because that's pathetic, to be honest with you. Anyway, we move on. What have we got? I don't believe that Keane is saying that to be controversial. He just says what he thinks and doesn't care. It doesn't make it right, though. But again, look, we've all got a right to say what we think, and Keane has every right to speak his mind. Of course he does. But again, when you look at what he's saying against the facts of the scenario as laid out in James Pearce's article, then you can compare and come to your own conclusion. WTF JJ said, I'm a City fan. I think Liverpool will be back to their best in no time. I certainly hope so, mate, because the title looks absolutely destined to be going to the Etihad this season. And, for us, we still have a top 4 place to play for. We want to finish as high as we can. And of course, we've got Champions League. When you're into the last 16, if we can get through those 2 tricky legs against Leipzig, you're in the quarterfinals, and then it's anyone's trophy. Hi Craig, do you think Henderson should be used as a centre back, or is it a bad decision? I've noticed the midfield is a lot less organised without him. Look, I can see why the manager trusts Henderson implicitly, and Henderson can read the game very well, and he'll do a job for you anywhere. But yeah, of course, I'd rather him in midfield, because we're losing a lot in midfield without having him there. So, we heard Keane talking about Manchester United, or Liverpool, other teams have gone through and had injuries and blah, 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 blah. But have they all had their 3 starting centre-backs out for the entire season and had to play? I don't remember Manchester United going through the guts of a season with let's say, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes playing centre-back, or... Do you know what I mean? And look, there's an argument to be made to say Manchester United wouldn't allow themselves to be in a position where all their centre-backs are injured and they haven't got enough depth. And that's a fair point as well. What's the starting lineup? My guess at the starting lineup would be Alisson, Trent, Nat Phillips, Kabak, Robbo, Henderson, Gini, Jones, and then the front 3. Although you could easily make an argument there for Jimmy Milner as well. Have I heard about Upamecano going to Bayern? I honestly feel like banging my head off a wall sometimes. I've said that for months on the channel. I mean, go back and watch any of the transfer streams, mate, where you see him in the thumbnail. And I've been telling everybody for the I do get some information. I know people, I don't brag about it and all, but like we all do get fed little bits here or there, and it's been an open secret that he's going to go to Bayern Munich. So no, I wasn't at all surprised about it, and just glad he's not going to a rival Premier League club. In all honesty, should Firmino drop to central attacking midfield when Jota comes back? Yes. Until it would be great to have the options of let's say Fabinho comes back in and he plays at centre back alongside Kabak. Let's use that as a working or a jumping off point for this conversation. So then you've got Henderson in midfield, Thiago in midfield, and then you've got that either you go for a double pivot with Gini to give some protection, or you've got somebody like either Curtis Jones, Naby Keita, who you can rotate in that attacking midfield position as well. So it would definitely give the manager options, and Bobby is very good at linking up play. So yeah, there'd be no issues with Bobby playing in a central attacking midfield role. Who's going to be out in the Liverpool game? Well, Thiago hasn't trained all week. Fabinho's been ruled out for a couple of weeks. Keita isn't back yet. Obviously Diogo Jota is a couple of weeks away yet. So those for definite. And then obviously the three that we know are ruled out for the entire season, the three centre-backs. So yeah, those. And it is what it is. You got to roll with the punches. No, mate, you're going to have to work harder than that again. Suck fear. I mean, come on, mate. All these puns, think I read things before I say them out, mate. So, again, well played. You've tried, but you failed miserably. So, if you're going to have to, try and catch me to say something stupid, buddy, you're going to have to work a lot harder than that. Who do I think is winning the FA Cup? Good question. Very hard to say. I mean, it's been some tasty ties there. I wouldn't mind seeing Leicester City lift a bit of silverware. So, and they'd be knocking United out in the process. So, there is that. I mean, you can see a scenario as well where Manchester City do the domestic treble. You can absolutely see how that's a possibility if we're being really realistic about things. But again, you're in a quarterfinals there, so anyone that's in the quarterfinals, you've got a shot. Hannah said, "Poor Salah's carrying this team on his back." Is he though? Like, is he really? I don't think that's fair to say, Hannah. I mean, yes, he scored some goals, some great goals, some invaluable goals, but I don't believe that Mohamed Salah has been as impactful as he should be, if I'm being bluntly honest about it. I think we can get and should get more from him, and the other guys need to contribute as well, but for Salah's goal scoring, I'd like to see him taking on fullbacks a lot more, and I still think there is some stuff he can do. But he is clinical in front of goal. I'm not going to deny his goal scoring prowess, and nor do I want to, but I think it's a bit unfair to say he's been carrying the team on his back, because Fabinho has been sensational as a centre back and has really helped out there as well. Jordan Henderson been invaluable again this season, so I don't think that's fair to say he's carrying the team on his back. If we sign Kabak at the end of the season, who do you think would be the partner for Big Verge? Gomez. If Gomez is fit, I think Gomez is the partner for Van Dijk. I mean, having Kabak there would be another great option, and if we move Matip on, for example, we still need to go out there and bring in somebody else. I know we've got Ben Davies, I know we've got a couple of youngsters, Billy Cometio coming through, I know Sepp van den Berg went out on loan, and I know that we still have Reece Williams as well, but Reece Williams should probably go out on loan, and probably the same for Billy Cometio actually, just to get them some first team experience. Somebody says Wan-Bissaka is better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. Brilliant, mate. Enjoy that. Cheers for your input. He's a good manager. I'm sure he'll find a way, said Sakina. What would be your starting lineup, all the players back and the new signings? It's hard to include the new signings, to be fair, when we haven't seen them play a minute in a Liverpool shirt. But if we take everybody fit and just push those new signings aside for a second, Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Gomez, Robertson, Henderson, Thiago, Fabinho. I'll probably put Salah through the centre and then play Jota and Mane and then bring Bobby on. That's hand on heart how I feel at the minute. And saying that, Bobby's my favourite player, but I probably would bench him. at this moment in time if we had a full squad to pick from. Or at least if there was one massive game. And then imagine Bobby coming on, by the way, when you've got tired legs in 60, 65 minutes. Bobby coming on, and I wouldn't want to be a defender. That man full of energy coming at you, just not letting you have a minute. What else we got? I generally think if we get back on track quickly, everyone will be so much more motivated, I hope, following recent performances. Yeah, look, tomorrow it's another one. It feels like every time I'm doing a stream lately, I'm talking about big game after big game after big game, and tomorrow with the King Power is another huge one. But, you know, we've gone away to, I was going to say Upton Park, to the London Stadium and won there. We've gone away and we've beaten Spurs, we've beaten Chelsea away this season. We've had some good results away from home, so hopefully that continues tomorrow. But the real question we're all asking is, which Liverpool team is going to turn up? And none of us know for certain, but all I can ask for, and all you guys can hope for as well, is that they go out there and they put in 100%, and that they leave it all on the pitch, and that they're at it from minute one, and we don't get caught cold. That's, you know, we just hope that we go out and we're at it from the start. If Rafinha comes, I don't think he'll get the game time. Thoughts? Well, like any player, it's, you know, nobody should be guaranteed to play every week, and with the amount of games a club like Liverpool and any other club involved in European competition has, you would want that rotation. So, I mean, that's why Jota was brought in as well, and will probably be bringing Harvey Elliott back. And yeah, I mean, he probably mightn't get a starting game every week, but I mean, again, another great option for the manager to have if that transfer went through. It seems having Thiago in our starting lineup makes us struggle. Not true whatsoever. It's very, very unfair to criticise Thiago when he hasn't had a chance to play with the players that he was brought in to play with. So he hasn't had a chance to have a season with Fabinho and Henderson there, and he hasn't had a chance to have a season with Van Dijk providing extra protection in behind, with Gomez knowing that Fabinho's there in the six, and that he can be afforded a bit more luxury to get forward at times and link up play. So I think the criticism of Thiago is really unfair, and the club wouldn't have bought him without a plan in place, and I'm sure that plan would have included the spine of the team being there around him. So, you know, he's here for 4 years, and, you know, there's still a lot of time, and we'll see a lot of great moments from Thiago. He is a world-class midfielder. Let's not forget that. Yeah, what have we got? Yes, guy, Craig is cheap, under 125 a week and sings for free. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, if you want to become a member of Anfield Agenda FC, by the way, which is what Kate was talking about there, hit that join button. It's $4.99 a month. You get the Anfield Agenda logo beside your name. Changes colour the longer you're with us. You also get all the emojis that our members have use of. You get into the Anfield Agenda Discord group, and you also get an opportunity to choose a charity bet if you're signed up to Boyle Sports as well. We do a charity bet each Liverpool game with Boyle Sports. I think I have the charity bet here actually that Dylan picked out for this week. Yep, here's this week's charity bet for the game tomorrow. It's Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals in that game. So again, any money raised from these charity bets will be going to PA the House, which is a suicide prevention charity here in Ireland. And again, look, I can't let the stream go by again without talking about this young man and his GoFundMe page. Again, this man needs a liver transplant. He's almost 3 years of age and he has not got long left to live, folks. The family desperately needs to raise the $1.8 million they need for this operation to go through in Chicago. They're flying out on the 1st of March, and look, you've heard me talk about it before. All the information is pinned to my Twitter account at Craig Holden if you want to go over there and check it out. I spoke to Chris again on the phone yesterday evening, just trying to think through ways to try and get more people involved and raise more awareness of this scenario, because as a father, and I'm sure there are many father and mothers watching right now that can't contemplate their child possibly being taken away from them at less than 3 years of age. He needs a liver transplant. His father is a match, and of course is willing to donate part of his liver. The only hospital in the world that's able to do the operation is a children's hospital in Chicago, but the operation unfortunately costs $1.8 million. And it's a long story, folks, but all we can do is keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing and hoping beyond hope that this little man makes it to see his 4th birthday, because he deserves it. He hasn't had a childhood yet. Every child deserves a childhood, and money should not be a barrier between somebody's chance of somebody surviving and somebody dying. So if you can share it, whatever you can do, folks, the link is in the description. It's also in the chat there as well. Please just do, because hopefully we can catch somebody's eye, and hopefully we can help do a really good thing here and give that young man a future. What else have we got? What's up with Thiago? He trained 2 days ago. Looked like Clarkson's Instagram. I think he hasn't been training with the main group, mate. I think he might be doing individual bits and pieces. But again, there's no 100% confirmation that Thiago is ruled out. All we can say is that he hasn't been training with the group all week, as per the manager today, this press conference. I apologise for calling you. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, mate, no problem. Put it behind us. We move on. Always accept an apology from somebody, mate. I think in this world, we all say and do shit that we regret. So, yeah, no worries, mate. You were put in time out there by somebody, but don't worry about it. Once that's over, jump back in, mate. It's all good. Red Brand said today the Chinese Year of the Ox just started. I've no way. I'm sure, assuming that is true. Let's hope it's a sign Oxlade-Chamberlain will have a great year for us, hopefully, because he's a great lad in and around the club. Everyone seems to love him. Always puts a smile on your face when you watch him, and can offer us something different when he's fit and full of beans and ready to go. So I do like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and yeah, I hope that's a good sign. Imagine signing Kevin De Bruyne in the summer. Yeah, I mean, God, I'd love it, but it's not going to happen. Craig, you're my favourite YouTuber. Thank you, pal. That means a lot. Really, no, genuinely, it really does mean a lot. Nice hoodie. Thank you. Again, the Jordan collection, I think, on the Nike website. UPAMECANO going to Bayern. Remy, I've been telling you guys that for months, mate. So it's not a shock to me anyway. Yusuf said I clicked on the Thogden video faster than the flash. I hope you enjoyed it, mate. And look, Thogden and Thogdad should be coming over for a chat in the next week or two. We're just trying to pin down a time that works for them both, and we should have them on for a chat, which is great. They seem like lovely people, and I was honoured to be asked to do the weekend preview video or the weekend score predictions video for them, which I sent over to them yesterday, and I believe is up on their channel right now if anybody wants to go and check it out. How were the predictions? Honestly, if you asked me to repeat them, I probably couldn't even remember what they were, mate, to be honest with you. But yeah, do go over and watch, of course, and subscribe. I think the guys are closing in on 500,000 over there, so congratulations to them. I mean, that is going to be a massive achievement. And again, we're all rooting for our friends over at the United Stand to hit that million as well. So to Mark, to Drawdy, to KG, to Flex, to all the team over there, a million, wow, that's going to be very well deserved when that comes up for the lads as well. Milner or Jones? Tomorrow I would go with Jones personally, mate, if I had the choice. Can you do more videos with Lee? That was amazing. Yeah, Lee's going to be part of our panel on Mundo Sporto. So if you don't know about our second channel, Mundo Sporto, please do go over and check it out. We've got Jack Gill over there, myself. We're going to have Matt, who's a Spurs fan. We're going to be bringing Lee Chappie. We're going to have lots of guest presenters and lots of different shows over there as well. We're going to have a Premier League roundup show, which Jack Gill is going to be hosting. Feature the likes of Dave as a party, Lee Chappie, Corey from the Hammers Way, Matt Haynes, I believe his surname is. I'm always mispronouncing that gentleman's name. And lots of other great young football YouTubers who really do know their stuff, and we just want to try and give an extra platform to highlight the great work that they're doing. So yeah, check out Mundo Sporto, and I'll be on there tomorrow for the is it Man City game? Whatever game I said earlier on, whatever the 5:30 kickoff is tomorrow. I'll be over there. And Jack Gill is doing the earlier game as well, I think. Yeah, I'm doing Manchester City Spurs over there tomorrow. So what one's Jack Gill doing? Think Jack Gill is doing on Sunday. Yeah, Jack Gill's going to be doing the West Brom United game on there, and then I'm going to be on doing the Arsenal Leeds game on Sunday over Mundo Sporto. So do check that out, and we will be doing Premier League darts and stuff as well on Mundo Sporto this season, or this April I think is when the Premier League of Darts starts. How do I get over a heartbreak from a loss? I'm not going to lie to you, mate. My first broken heart, it stays with you a long time, but the only thing I can say to you is don't close off your heart. I'll give you a good analogy. I'll give you an analogy that my psychologist uses with me. So, have you ever seen those little Meccano type ball things that expand and contract and expand and contract? You probably know what I'm talking about. So my psychologist used this analogy with me when I first started seeing him. I was very defensive. I was very guarded. I was very cagey. And he said, your heart is like this. You need it to be like this. Open up your heart and better things will come your way. It sounds really simple, But he's so true. Just be you. Allow yourself to accept and feel love again. Allow the possibility that you may get hurt at times, but don't let it define you. But always understand that putting yourself out there into the world will lead to good luck and will lead to more opportunities. And if I hadn't have listened to my psychologist and I hadn't have continued to put myself out there, and I wouldn't be growing where we are now, and I wouldn't have met so many amazing people along the way, man. So that's all I can say to you is don't close yourself up. Open your heart up to the world, man. And you will get hurt at times and it's going to suck like fuck, but don't close yourself off, buddy, because there's always greater days ahead. Always brighter times ahead. And you'll meet that right person someday and you'll have a wonderful life. So just keep that in the back of your mind, pal. Love the content. Keep it up, said Takina. And when you say... Let me just read that back. Sorry, I want to read that back to just make sure. If it's a loss from someone passing away, by the way, mate, then I'm not sure which way you meant that, if it was a partner or if it was a family member. But either way, just remember, you know they loved you, and you know you love them, and they know that. And you'll always have the memory. My dad died when I was 21, and I can still hear his voice. I'm 18 years later, I still hear his voice. It's clear as day in the back of my head. And yeah, it'll take time, mate. But as I said, don't close yourself off. Open yourself up and let those close to you in. And don't be afraid to show your feelings. And again, we're all sorry for your loss, man. And lots of love to you. Right, look, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a nice one tonight, 50 minutes or so. I will see you wonderful folks tomorrow for the watch along. Don't forget, Jack Gill is going to be live from about 11:20 a.m. That sounds so weird, with the team announcement show. I'm then going to come live at about 10 past or 12:15 for the watch along. There'll be a post-match show with myself and Jack Gill as well. And don't forget all the content coming up on Mundo Sporto as well over the weekend. If you are going to have a little flutter, by the way, this weekend, please do sign up and use our sponsors, Boyle Sports. They've got loads of cracking offers on the game. They give us a charity bet each week as well. Any of the Boyle Sports offers are usually open to UK and Irish residents, age 18 plus. Please always gamble responsibly, but most importantly, thank you for everything. Thank you for helping us hit 74k. 100k ain't that far away yet, folks. Love you all. Have a great weekend, and hopefully